Hello, everybody. What is up? This is McFizz and my co host Reb. We're coming at you with another episode of the Mod. It's
Yo,
episode 7. And today we've got our special guest is Sojh.
It's
What up,
me.
Sojh?
I'm Bing chilling right now.
Bing chilling.
Couldn't be
Man's
better.
bro's
living the
Bing
Bing
chilling.
chilling life. So
hmm
I'm super excited. I don't know about you, Reb. I'm super excited to do this episode. Sojh goes hard. So the episode's
Whoa,
gonna definitely be a banger.
what you mean by
Whoa!
that? What you mean by that?
Bro goes hard at everything, at life. He's a gamer. What can you say?
What you
True.
mean by that? What you mean
So,
by that?
so we got some good stuff to talk about. It's gonna be fun, and yeah. Anyone have any words before I dive right in?
Well, actually, I want to say there's a fun fact. So, you were
Oh,
actually the most requested person to
yippee!
hop on the podcast. Everyone was most excited for your appearance. So,
Let's go,
how
dude.
do you feel about
I'm
that? How
just,
do you feel about that?
I'm that guy apparently. I don't know.
More
It's kind of wild.
requested than the man himself, Wayton.
Oh,
Really, really.
actually, no, that's true. I actually
I'm,
asked. I asked
I'm
who
Himothy.
I asked who everyone would be most excited to see on the cast, and you were actually number one. I think number two was Waiting, and number three was Striker. So
That's huge.
Dang,
I'm just Himothy,
up
I
there
suppose.
for real.
you're that guy. You're that guy. I
I
respect
am
that.
that guy, pal. I am
You
that
are
guy.
that guy, pal. You are
You're
that
him. You're
guy.
that guy. All right. So Soj, tell us a little bit. How have you been? What are you up to? Tell us a little bit about yourself. How's it going? What's the lowdown?
Yeah. So I've been on that grind. I'm a college student, and so that's interesting. I am full time, and it's very time consuming. Fun fact for those who haven't been in college yet,
Yeah.
it takes your time away. But it's cool. I'm living on campus, and it's a pretty good experience. And I'm doing what I love, so that's all I can really ask for.
That's nice. What sort of stuff you do? Obviously you got class, I don't know what your major is or if you got extracurriculars or anything outside of school, like what's keeping you busy besides of course like just being a college student.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm majoring in computer science with a concentration in AI and machine learning, and I'm also trying to get a minor in data analytics because I think that would be helpful. But yeah, I do a lot of gaming, so naturally I
Naturally.
would try to join the esports team on campus, and it just so happened that this esports team goes to in-person tournaments every fall. And it just so
Whoa.
happens that my team, my college, has been to the grand finals of our conference on LAN 2 years in a row.
Whoa.
Dang, I wonder how
Yeah,
that happened. You
yeah,
must have
Damn.
yeah.
some goaded teams.
It's it. I mean, it's the one guy on the team who's like really that guy.
Yeah.
You know what
His name rhymes with
I mean?
Oj.
It starts with an S, ends in an Oj. You know?
Okay, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. But
Yeah,
actually, like
yeah, yeah.
that I mean that's that's awesome. I mean, many people um in the Rocket League scene, mostly if you're like starting up, like you um kind of like a a goal to like maybe at some point get to the walk on the stage at LAN or something like that. So what was your experience? How did you feel in the moment? Um Mostly in person, just in an event like that.
Honestly, a lot of the I mean, I feel like the hardest game when we went to LAN was the first game. And it's very easy to say that a lot of the time just because it's a new experience. But even with that, I feel like I felt ready. And going into the LAN, we were the only undefeated team there for our conference. Like we went undefeated in league play, went super confident. There was like one team that we were kind of scared against, but they got out really early. Um, but like we went in, I was super confident. I had full trust in my team, and as the weekend went on, you kind of gain a sense of security and comfort the more that you get onto that stage, and the more that you get used to all the lights and the attention. It's
Okay.
kind of crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I can imagine. I mean, not only is it in person, and I imagine you were, on a stage, so
Mhm.
'cause you're kind of like the center of attention. Um, so I can understand, like, for sure, probably feeling some nerves and probably like the favoritism from
The
um
crowd,
the
right?
crowd. Yeah, mostly
Yeah,
if you had
yeah,
most people um rooting against you, you kind of feel that pressure. I can imagine
Yeah. Are you guys
yeah,
the
100%.
underdogs, or are you the
the guys.
you have the crowd? What do you have? Where are you guys at?
So so at that crowd, it wasn't a massive crowd, but my parents were there, so anytime we were on stage, we had the loudest cheer.
W.
Heck
And
yeah.
also like everyone in the league, we were good friends with basically everyone in the league. So anytime that we were on stage, like all the other teams we were friends with would be there in support. Especially in the grand finals when we ended up playing the team that everyone wanted to lose in the grand finals.
And
And
beating them.
yeah, eventually. It took a little while to get there, but the support was wild, especially to be able to experience it in person rather than just hoping that it's there when you're online or just like looking at a
Yeah.
Twitch chat.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
To feel the support is something completely different.
That's awesome, man. I get nervous just playing ones, so I don't think I would do well. No one's
Yeah,
watching,
yeah.
and I don't even have teammates judging me, and I'm nervous. I'm sweating, so I don't know how it would do for me. But if I had that many people, that it's nice that the guys you play with and against in these lands and tournaments, like you guys get along well. I think that makes it just more fun than stressful, and that's got to be the best part, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, we practice against each other like all the time. Like right after that tournament, we set up a scrim server with all the teams, and that server's been super active, and we've only become better friends with that server. So it's very fun.
That's awesome. So cool.
Yeah, dude, that's on. I mean, like I said, like most people just, even if it's like for a simple tournament, like just getting on a stage and like experiencing something like that is kind of wild. So,
Yeah,
and I mean,
it's like
it's always dope that, like you said, like mostly everyone in that circle is kind of like homies. They like know each other. It's kind of like more going off against friends and saying, "Hey, I'm gonna destroy you this time." It's fun trash talk. So
right.
that's awesome. That's awesome. But I guess in the sense of kind of like the tournament and stuff, and like that sort of sense, I want to bring it back, and I for the most part, I've done this with the past guests, mostly if they've been there. For example, just the last one that we did was a striker, and he was there when all this was going on. The Lost League tournaments, the Lost League drafts. Um, can you kind of give your side of the story? What was your experience with them meeting everyone? And of course, majority of the OGs that were there are still here today, and um are a part of the team. Of course, not everyone, but for the most part, the OGs are still here and are part of the team. But kind of just what was your experience with that whole kind of era?
It was very fun, honestly. Like I think if that so for context, the a lot of the mods in the very active community in Wayton's circle came from the very early days of Rocket League and a streamer by the name of the Lost Prodigy, and he ran these tournaments like very very consistently with prizes, and it garnered a lot of attention, and he built up a very tight knit community, and a lot of that community transitioned or not transitioned, but a lot of that community, stuck together throughout the years, and it's very interesting to see, the different people that have come out of that. Like you have Voltero. Voltero was super active in those tournaments, and
Oh
now
yeah, he
he's like
was.
in the bubble scene,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And Wayton, he started out making like community montages, and now he's like massive on YouTube, and it's insane to see the success that's come out of that group.
Yeah, of course. And I mean, like, usually with online groups and it's mostly at that size. I mean, you look at us now and it's like, sure, it's like it looks like a couple people, but back then those tournaments were filling up like crazy. So it wasn't like anything super small, but no, it wasn't anything massive either, of course, but it wasn't um something to just look at and be like, yeah, it was a small group or not. But um
Hmm.
it's crazy how all of us have still maintained this sort of friendship over the years, because you don't really see that super often. You see people breaking away, forming their own groups of friends, and just kind of parting ways over some time. But it's kind of just all been here. Of course, not all of us talk every single day. We all have our own friends and groups to attend to, but for the most part we always come around every once in a while and just vibe out and play games, which is it's not something super common, I feel like. So it's definitely interesting to see how it's still kind of kept up over the years, and how we still kind of preserve that. um
Yeah,
yeah, pretty much.
I
yeah.
guess it kind of makes me think because I didn't become active in the Rocket League community until I guess basically where by the time maybe a lot of more hardcore players would say the game kind of hit its downfall was free to play. It was like a big boom, and then now it's been mostly what we have now. I've had the game forever and I've played it on and off here and there, but I never really kind of got into the community until about 20, I guess it was 20. Um, and by then everyone was pretty much established. I think that was right around the time Wayton became a full-time content creator. So I guess and I feel like a lot of our listeners now are kind of in a similar boat. What do you think, Soj? Would you say to those people that, maybe didn't quite have the same sort of experience earlier in the Rocket League community, about ways to try and find a circle that they can be a part of? Like, is there anything that you know of now as you've seen the game and its community evolve that you would say is a good approach new players should take?
More recently, I've found that like playing in small community like leagues, that has brought like so many new people into my circle, and I'm really glad for that because the it's hard to explain um how that works, but it's like when you it's like when you have coworkers, right? And you get very, very close to them, and you're almost like inseparable, if that makes any sense. It's that same sort of bond that you make with your competitors, and also friends in the same aspect in these leagues. And I think you don't even have to play in the leagues, just like being active in the community, cheering on these different teams, like just being active and choosing and finding your spot even in those leagues like that. That's always to me been um, a standout thing.
I think that's good advice. Looking back, kind of how I got started here, Wayton's community was really the first community that I tried to join. And, as a lot of people who have been in the server for, I guess, a couple of years now might know, I ended up finding my way to be a moderator relatively quickly. But I think the main reason was was really passionate about the game and I wanted to try uh, to find ways to, I don't know, bring people together and give people that opportunity to kind of be closer, with the draft league. I guess it wasn't a draft league at the time, but the very first season of what I tried to do, the actual longer format league that everybody played in. I think you played in it too, Soj.
Yeah, we did.
And yeah, the mods, you guys at the time all gave me a shot. Said, what, if you want to go through the work to put this together, we'll let you do it. We'll give you the resources. Um, and I don't know, yeah, I had a lot of fun, and I see what you're saying because we also, of course, as we mentioned a little bit here and there, we now play in the Superstar Series League. We did that last year, and
Mhm.
by the way, registration closes Friday, February 2nd, so you guys should sign
Yes,
up. But
registration will be closed. Registration will be
so
closed. So So it was actually perfect timing that this whole episode started, and McFizz and I were kind of like um we're kind of hyped about this because we're like, oh wow, the timing is kind of crazy. Registration ends soon. This episode will probably be out soon. So yeah, Superstar Series. Yeah, you guys will find the links to the Discord in the description. Join up if you guys want a league. It'll be year round. It'll probably go for a while. Just meet some people, play against each other. There's different divisions, so don't worry about being a low rank or anything. And yeah, pretty much just have fun. There's prize money on the line, so again, you're not for the most part you're probably joined to have fun, but on the side there's also prize money at stake, so keep that in mind. And of course, like we said, signups will be ending this Friday. What day? What day is
Is that
it? The
the second
second? The
Friday?
second, right? Yeah,
Yeah, the
Right,
second.
Soj?
the second.
Yeah,
Okay.
if you're Eastern time zone, it's technically the third at 1 a.m. But realistically, yeah, you should be signed up by the second.
You heard that
Anyways,
here.
yeah, definitely feel like we had a lot of fun playing Superstar Series last year, season 1. This is the second season there. There's still a new league, and they're still growing, so there's lots of room for people to come in and really get to know new people. And, I think that we had a really great experience there. Playing you against your team, we always had fun every time when we'd be practicing and scrimming. We practiced really hard
Oh
last year,
yeah.
and we all got a lot better.
Yeah, we were doing like
And it was
what? We were
yeah,
doing train sessions like 2 or 3 times a week.
3 times a week most of the time. We would have practice 3 times a week and a game once a week. So, at least 4 hours of team time a week, which, maybe it isn't much for someone that's on their college Rocket League team, but uh for us it was a lot, and we had a lot of fun. I remember every time we'd be in practice doing replay reviews after we'd have a week match, something to be like, all right, next one's for Soj. Like, we're gonna come and get him. Yeah, I don't think we haven't quite beat you yet, but I don't feel like
Coming soon.
we're working
Coming
on it.
soon. Yeah,
Still a goal. So
we'll catch up. We'll catch
um
up.
yeah, but I think I see what you mean, when you talk about just finding a community, finding a league to play in, or just someone some group to be a part of. It's kind of like that. There's it's just fun. You get to play the same teams over and over again, whether it's scrims or if you have a match against them every month or so, and you see them again, and there's always like that face off. And even if they're not on your team, you kind of get to become friends with those people. And so I think that's really cool, and I think that's been my favorite aspect about the Rocket League community since I really got involved in it. Um, and I've always been trying to chase that, like, continue to grow and get more tight knit with other players in the community. And I think I'm pretty lucky. I've gotten to play with some really amazing people.
Mhm.
So before we completely kind of move on, I want to um stick for a second with the superstar stuff. So again, you're kind of like helping out behind the scenes, right? With the whole league and stuff. Like how did you come to meet everyone there and actually like become a part of that team?
Yeah, so it started a little while back when I was just getting into graphic design, and I had played on Disconnect's teams prior, but I wasn't super active until I started to get into some graphic design. So I made the first like Disconnect like stream package, and ever since then, like things just took off, and we've been doing bigger and bigger projects. Um, we're gonna have. By the way, I don't know if this is a leak or not, but I'm gonna say it.
Ooh, heard it
We're
here
gonna have
first, folks.
a a
Juicy.
fully a fully dynamic overlay coming for this next season for the broadcast.
Ooh.
I've spent the last year trying to get that perfect, and I've got all the designs and payments set over to the guy who does them.
Okay,
Um,
okay.
so so that's super exciting. Um, but yeah, just I started out in 2019. I played on a team, and if you actually look up on Wikipedia, you could probably find me on a disconnect team for one tournament.
Let's
But
go. We got Sojh on the Wikipedia. Let's go.
it was me and Bannable. We were on disconnect purple,
Oh, I remember when he was on that.
and that was fun. But like it started a long time ago, and Zilmi, who's the owner of Disconnect, has been super supportive the whole time, and it's a real home. So
Wow,
I'm
I didn't
glad
know it
to
was
glad to
that
still be
old.
there.
Damn. Okay. Shout out Zilmi, by the way. Goat.
Yeah,
He's a
really.
goat.
Goat. We love that guy.
So cool. I didn't know that you played that. Whoa, my monitor turned off. That's weird. With Zilmi and Bannable, and I didn't know everybody went back to. I didn't know that Disconnect was that much of a like an early days thing. That's kind of interesting. Can you tell me a little bit more about that? Like, how did you find out? I mean, I know you said you started with it, but I didn't. I thought it was just kind of a thing that came across your path, but it sounds like it was a little bit closer to maybe the Lost League type of people. Is that the case?
No, I think Disconnect was pretty, and I say this not in a pun intended way, but Disconnect was pretty disconnected from what
Good one.
Wayton and them were doing in those leagues. So Disconnect really grew from hosting these weekly tournaments every single week, and this was what, about 5 years ago when they started really doing that. And I say I wasn't active when they were hosting them, but they got, I think at the peak we had like 100 or so teams per week, or maybe I'm exaggerating, but a lot of teams per week playing in these tournaments, and that's what really grew Disconnect from the beginning, and that's how I got to see them for the first time.
Wow,
Um,
I just looked them up on Wikipedia, and I just kind of pulled up. I'll send this in our chat so you can look at it, Reb. Uh, one of the weekly tournaments, week 4, and this one was December of 2019, and I see like Flitz played in it.
yeah,
Who else? Yeah, like
Which one was
a
it?
lot
Hold
of
on. Sorry,
people.
what? Which one was
Sent
it?
you a link.
Yeah, I got it. But
Disconnect
which one?
week.
We
Cars 2.
Cars 2.
If you change from show players, you can see. So like, yeah, that's actually so cool. I didn't realize that
Oh, I
this was
see.
so big. I mean, maybe I didn't realize it was what it was. That's so exciting.
mhm.
Damn.
Yeah, that's kind of how I initially got into like knowing about them, and ever since then it's been uphill. And by uphill, I mean we've been doing bigger and bigger things, and it's only been getting better and better.
It's awesome. I mean, I only knew of them through Superstar Series, right? Which you guys came to us last year to thank. You were so graciously asked our permission if you could promote it, like you really needed it. but and then I thought, oh, this sounds awesome. Like, of course I want to shout that out, and we decided to do it ourselves. And that, of course, was the first season of the Superstar Series League, right? And I just kind of assumed that the org couldn't have been that old. I'm in the Disconnect Discord as well, and I'm not very active there, but um, super exciting. Um, I guess, yeah. I don't know. I'm really going to try and pay more attention to this going forward. It sounds like there's a lot. You guys already have more experience than I thought you did, and there's a lot of potential for things to continue to grow.
Yeah, we've got can't leak anything more, but we've got big plans. So
Oh.
Well, you got to stay
definitely
tuned.
So
definitely stay
Soj's
tuned.
got the intel. Soj's got the
Mhm,
insider intel.
mhm. You know me.
Yeah. So
That's
yeah, you
so
guys
cool though.
listening really should consider signing up. It'd be a lot of fun. Like I said, a lot of the mods are already participating in it, and there are other people that aren't even mods that are in the Wayton Discord that are participating in it. So, and it sounds like everyone's who's had something to do with Disconnect and the Superstar Series League has had a lot of fun.
Yeah,
If you're
definitely.
not convinced by now, I don't know what's wrong with
Again, and like I said earlier, and Soj can, of course, him being a part of the whole project can confirm as well. But like I said, doesn't matter what rank you are. There's different divisions, so feel free. Again, it's just a way to improve your game if you're really looking for that, and even if you just want to have fun and meet new people, it's just a way to get out there and just um
Stop solo queuing ranked, man.
real
Yeah.
real
Yeah.
just meet some people, meet some randos that you might actually form a bond with, and you might actually queue with them in the future. So like I said, just give it a shot. I mean, there's no real harm in
No
it,
downside.
no downside. I mean, there's even money on the line as well. So um again, give it a shot. The links to the Discord will be in the description for both the Spotify and the YouTube listeners. It'll be down there. So again, if you're interested, which I would really recommend giving it a shot, join the Discord, find some people, or if you already have friends, sign up with them and be a part of the community. And we hope to see you there. I mean, we know when it'll be starting up, Sojh? Or is a date not yet confirmed? I haven't really been paying attention to the Discord, I'm not gonna lie.
So starting days, I don't think have been confirmed just yet.
Okay.
I can double check for you really quick.
No, good, all good.
Let's see.
I think
Okay, yeah,
preseason
so
starts in like a week or two.
preseason, the first games of preseason will be on February 9th.
Okay, so a
and
week
that'll
after
be
the
for
sign-ups.
Division 3.
Yeah,
Yes.
week and a half from now.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Starting
in
very
early.
soon. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Well,
I mean,
I'm gonna switch.
no, go
Oh,
ahead.
sorry, go
No,
ahead.
no. I was just gonna say, I was just gonna hammer in the point. Just again, I emphasize this as much as I can. Just join the league. Join the league.
Yeah.
Do it. Do
Be
it.
there. Be there.
So I'll switch gears a little bit and kind of I want to get your input, Sojh, on some of the stuff we've done for the league and the draft league draft tournaments that we do in Wayton server. It's something we always felt passionate about, but we never I guess had the time to really just kind of get anything off the ground. We've had little things here and there. But I know Reb and I are planning on bringing the draft leagues back. We have some plans. We've already started talking about things. We've got a date picked out for the next one. If you paid attention, you might actually already know those details. But I guess I wanted to ask you a little bit about what you think we could do to change going forward, or what you like about it. As we're starting up kind of a new season for this, and hopefully kind of get things a little bit more regular and consistent. Some things from your perspective you noticed that you enjoyed, or what maybe you would like to see change, or anything in particular you would just like to highlight. Um, so in preparation for those that are going to be starting up soon.
Hmm. It's a good question. I always like having man, how do I put this into words?
Words.
Dude, words are hard.
True.
That's why I do computer science.
Yeah,
I can
talk to
screw
computers.
words. Yeah, talk to computer.
Numbers.
Tell computer what to do. No, I like I mean, you bring up a good point. I do like numbers. So I think personally, and this is just maybe a one-off thing, but I think it would be cool to maybe figure out like a point system where based on placements and based on how many people are playing, you can accumulate points and maybe, at the end of however long period of time, there's some sort of prize for having a lot of points.
Okay. Okay.
Like an idea.
I mean that's like something we haven't discussed. So that's actually great. That's a great idea. I mean, I know we were I know. I mean, like I said, um, McFizz, I and Yoza, we sat down recently. We had a deep conversation about this, and we'll make the announcements when the time comes. We'll talk more about it. The announcements will be there for the listeners, because this episode will probably go out real soon. Probably not tonight, but not the night that we're recording this, but probably the following day. But yeah, the announcements will be there with due time. We've already discussed the date and stuff like that, but like we have discussed the idea of rewards we're still kind of um in the discussion phase about what those exactly should be, but this is definitely an amazing idea to try to get that out, and it also kind of um makes you really want to get more points, not even if it's just for the rewards, but there's a lot of people that's going to treat it like MMR. Let's get the points as high as we can, even if they don't end up getting a reward, which I mean ultimately there's going to be an incentive to get that reward, but it's going to be kind of treated like MMR, I feel like. And in a way I think that's yeah, it's really great.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'd love to try
It's
try
exciting.
and kind of find some blend between the six man's ranks and the just like a regular draft tournament, and have some way of kind of being able to bring the online Rocket League experience a little bit closer to the Wayton community, and having incentives for people to continue to come back as a and at the end of the day, we really just want it to be fun. And I think a lot of people had a lot of fun when we started doing it. I know there's definitely potential. So we're definitely exploring lots of ways to keep things fresh, and exciting and engaging. Um, and so I think like all tips are appreciated from everybody. If anyone has ideas, definitely let us. Oh, I'm cutting out a little bit. Sorry about that.
Yeah, all good, just making
Um,
sure.
definitely let us know. If anybody listening has thoughts on what we could do to keep things interesting. Um, but I guess I have a question for you, Soj. Are you gonna, given the time, maybe we're gonna see you in some of these draft tournaments?
I would definitely love to join them when I can. Um, but unfortunately, that big thing is when I can, and I'm not sure when I can. But I'll
Sure,
I'll
sure.
definitely try.
Well, there you know. There you have it, folks. Whenever Soj is not in the draft tournament, you might have a chance to win. So,
He is the favorite in the Discord server apparently, since everyone doesn't want to talk to Wayton
Yeah.
anymore. It's all Soj now, so you know, come meet your favorite madman on the server.
Hmm. The demo demon.
The demo demon.
Hmm.
You heard it here. You heard it here.
yeah.
Yeah, of
So
course. I mean, I
definitely,
know, I know for sure we had multiple appearances from you last year when we were doing this last year. And I know a majority of people did want to be on your team as much as possible. So, um, it's great. It's great to have the community as engaged like this, mostly with the team. I know a lot of people have gotten a lot of people in the community have gotten um sort of close to everything and with all of us, and they really enjoy these type of things where they get to spend more time with us, mostly because Wayton's out of the picture. That guy, screw that guy, no one wants to talk to that guy anymore. Screw the famous YouTuber, we don't want to talk to that guy. It's all about the team that's in the background.
It's facts.
so yeah. I mean, got to tell you, a lot of stuff going on with leagues. There's Superstar Series. There's the draft leagues here. Definitely sounds like it's a really great opportunity to find a good team and get a lot of practice playing a lot of different people in. So keep an eye out for all that stuff. Um, yeah.
Oh
See
yeah.
what else? What else do we have? Um, I guess I kind of want to take a little bit of a step back, and we talked about we talked about you and the Lost League and how you kind of got started um, with this group. But what I'd love to learn a little bit more about is kind of your role in specifically Wayton's Discord, and kind of how you became a moderator and eventually graduate up to an admin. Kind of give a little bit of people a little bit of background there. Um, kind of how that works. I think a lot of people are always interested. They see people that have been here forever and want to know how that happened.
Yeah. So a really long time ago, and I have the exact date. Hold on, let me
Oh
find it.
damn.
Exactly.
Bro's got the
I
receipts
got
and
the
everything.
receipts. Exactly on June 14th, 2018,
Damn.
Waiton's
Dang.
Discord was created. And on October 23rd, 2018, I joined it.
October
And
23rd?
October
Crazy day.
23rd, 2018. Save that date. That's the anniversary. Make sure to ping Reb at, when that
Okay,
date comes.
really?
Let
Okay,
me know.
really? Hey, all I'm saying is I was there 20 days beforehand. That's all I'm saying. October 4th,
Sheesh.
2018. Hey.
Okay, well
That's
that's
all I'm
just
saying.
uncalled for. I don't think we needed that information. No, but back in the day, he used to run a whole bunch of like viewer tournaments back in the day, and I played in those, and they were very fun. And as soon as he started posting more videos, he needed a little bit of help, and I was like, I'd love to help because me and Wayton had been friends for quite a while at that point. And I had some experience with messing with a whole bunch of bots, and so I just I said like, I'd be down to help, and I can mess with bots. And he's like, I need a bot guy. So I turned into the bot guy,
You're a
and
bot.
then after a little while, after being a bot for a long time, um, I guess I just did a whole bunch and helped out the server a whole bunch. And then he was like, you know what? Let me get this guy a cool purple name. And I was like, heck yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Nice. Yeah, because I know you're an admin now, and even Bannable is still and I know Peyton and
Ghost.
Bannable.
We're gonna talk about that
Yeah.
ghost here.
Mhm.
Yeah. They still hang out a lot, but you've even surpassed everybody up there with
Yeah.
Toxic.
Oh yeah.
Another
Pretty
ghost.
Toxic and Shorty, yeah.
Another ghost. Shorty's not
Mhm.
a ghost, but the other two, they're ghosts.
Yeah.
Which I mean,
Yeah. It's
Killer.
very interesting.
talking about ghosts, we have he's not really a ghost because I mean he's not here. He's not. I mean he's not dead. I shouldn't say he's not here anymore, but he's not on the team anymore. Um, Mr. Six Paths O'Pain, David himself, was
Yeah.
at one
Mm.
point an admin himself, and he was big in the community. I remember everyone would look up to David. Everyone was like, "Hey, Pain, questions about this. Hey, Pain, I need help with this. Hey, Pain, what's going on?" Everyone would look for him first because he was so big into the community. And I mean, big ups to the man. I mean, um, now he kind of has stepped away from the whole gaming scene. He has
Mhm.
a I don't know if they're engaged yet or but he has a girl now and he has a kid with her, which I mean is kind of fucking crazy how that all kind of unfolded.
Could have been me.
It could have been me.
Wait a second.
hold on, hold on. Yeah, I mean it's kind of crazy. I mean he was one of the real OGs, and um, I remember even back then. I mean, I don't know if I think I've said this in the Orange podcast, but when this server first started, like you said, he did host viewer tournaments. It was supposed to be kind of like the successor to the Lost Prodigy tournaments back then, because Prod was kind of like, hey, I want to step down, I want to focus my time on other stuff. Thank you guys for participating, and I'll be around type thing. So
Mhm.
Wayton kind of just decided I'm gonna take this under my wing, and that's where this that's where the server kind of blew up. But I remember back then, your boy, I had the admin powers back then. I was
Mm.
super active in the server. I was super, and I was good friends with well, I'm still very good friends with Wayton himself, of course, but um, what's it called? I was, I guess, very helpful. I was always there to lend a hand when he needed it. So, whenever that was going on, I would always be like, "Hey, I'm free. If you need help, let me know." And I had the admin privileges, but I kind of did ghost as well for a while there. And when he started blowing up, um, I was kind of like, I want to step away. I don't really want
Demoted.
to. Yeah, I don't really want to devote time into this. So he kind of was like, you're no longer admin. Your powers are stripped. Your powers are officially stripped. You're no longer admin. And I just kind of
Can be a
fell
lowly
down.
mod.
Started crying.
Yeah.
I would. Big deal.
Big deal. It's a
Yeah.
big deal. Yeah.
So I guess Shorty was admin with you at the same time, Reb. That's when
Mm-hmm.
he kind of Nice.
Yeah,
All
he's
right.
he's like the OG. So I remember back then it was me, Bannable, Shorty, and I think Payne was an admin when he started like really getting super into it. Um,
I
Hmm.
back
think he was
then.
an admin all the way until well, when I joined. I see him on the sidebar. Never really interacted much. That was when he was kind of switching to other things, but I know he was an admin when I joined.
Well, here's an interesting fun fact for you guys that I don't think I've told anyone.
Oh,
But when Payne was super active, he was the one that brought me back into competitive Rocket League. And he's probably the reason why, I am at a college and playing on the Rocket League team at the college.
Wow, really?
Yeah, because
What?
there was a time in early 2020 where a lot of unfortunate happenings happened to me in Rocket League, and it almost made me quit the game.
ooh,
And then a little while longer, I started to become more active in Wayton's server, and Payne was streaming a whole ton and playing Rocket League, and I hit him up. I was like, hey, I love this game, and I've never wanted to quit this game, but I'm at that point. And he just decided to start grinding with me, and after like 2 or 3 months of grinding with him, I got to my highest point ever in the game, which really showed me like I just put my mind to it, I can do anything. And then now I'm here in college, and I won my first ever LAN tournament, got Rookie of the Year, and I'm feeling better than ever, and just excited to keep going.
That's awesome,
well,
dude. What was it?
shout out to him. We love that man.
Yeah.
Sounds like a really cool guy. I'm remiss I never really got to interact with him. Was it really just you needed a buddy to grind with, or was there something special that he did to really kind of bring you back?
I mean, his passion for the game was almost unmatched.
Oh yeah, I mean like yeah for sure. I mean it's it sucks that I didn't really get to have time to really play with him or get to know him, but he has that personality, that bubbly personality that makes you just it just oh you just want to do more and more, and then you want to like he really has that um sort of like pushing type of personality where it's like, hey, you're awesome at this, keep going, keep going, keep going, and he really elevated really elevated you to just do the best that you can.
Yeah.
That sounds so cool. So cool.
Yeah, I mean, like I
Well,
said, he was a pretty big figure back then, and you know, it, in the gaming sort of in the gaming viewpoint of everything, it sucks that he's gone, but realistically, that man is really happy where he's at, um,
Yeah.
and
He's doing
sounds
good.
like everyone
he's
he's
doing
got in his
good.
life is lucky to have him around too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he's got a kid now, which is absolutely absurd. So, shout outs to that man. Um, I don't think he knows about the podcast, but I'll tell him that he was mentioned. We still communicate every once in a while, so I'll tell him he was
Yeah.
mentioned. Maybe he gives it a listen.
You got to let him know, man. If he really made that much of a difference to some of the people here, then I'm sure he would love to know that he's still being talked about. People still think about what he did for them. I mean, I the
Legend.
other day I was back in Texas for Christmas visiting family and stuff, and I got a call from a friend out of the blue. I hadn't really talked to him very much in years. We would play World of Warcraft in high school together. So this is by now like probably 8 years ago, 10 years ago, coming up on 10, probably more than likely. And we still follow each other on social media and talk a little bit back and forth here and there, like pleasantries. Oh, hey, how's it going? Oh, that's super cool. Later type of thing, but never really interacted much after high school. So all of college goes by for me, 4.5 years, and then the 2 years I've been 2.5, I think actually three, that I've been out of college after that, and I just get a call out of the blue from this guy, and I'm like, "Hey, what's up?" I think it's crazy, first of all, that people still have my number from that long ago, but he just calls me on the phone, like cold calls me, and I'm like, "Hey, dude, like, what's up?" Like, I don't know, I don't know what to expect. And he's like, "Hey, like, I just wanted to call you, tell you, like, yo, Merry Christmas. Was thinking about you, appreciate you. Like, just that's it." And that was like probably the nicest like experience that I had. One of the nicest experiences I had that whole Christmas season. Um, so I mean, yeah, it sounds kind of cheesy, but I think you definitely should tell him. I think it's really cool, and I'm sure that
Mhm.
there's a lot of people here listening that feel the same way about other people. And you should definitely tell them that because it goes a long way. And a lot of times, people put a lot of energy into the people they have in their life, and it doesn't always get recognized. And sometimes they stop doing that, and that sucks because they feel like nobody cares. So,
Mhm.
like, I'll tell you both right now, I appreciate you a ton. I had a ton of fun seeing you in person going to Worlds, Soj. That was a
Oh
blast.
yeah, that was
Hopefully, we didn't
amazing.
scare you away with all of our shenanigans. And
No, it was fun.
yeah, I got to meet Yoza in person. And Reb, you're still on the list. You keep hiding in the depths of LA. I'll get to you one day, but
True,
um,
true. I'm in shithole LA, dude. God
it's too
damn
much traffic. I'll die of old age before I can make it into to
it.
you. But yeah, I mean, I think that there's a lot of really awesome connections throughout this server, both before and even now still. I think it's cool to see the people that gave me the passion I have for the game now, able to kind of share that sentiment with somebody else makes me feel a little bit less, I don't know, left out or something like that.
Mhm.
Let's see here. I guess
So,
while we're talking about Rocket League and we're talking about past experiences, I think we should go the other way. What do you think of Rocket League? What do you think? What changes would you like to see as? I mean, there's a lot of talking about competitive play and stuff similar. Massive changes that just happened with competitive play, but overall with the game itself, what kind of changes or what kind of direction would you like to see the game go in moving forward?
Um, it's a good question. I personally, if anyone wants to know kind of my personality, I'm a huge fan of chaos. And I don't mean the Rocket League mode 4v4. I don't mean that. I mean I love when there are more variables and I love when like like in Rocket League, my ideal competitive future involves non-standard maps. And that may be a hot take, but
Hmm.
I think non-standard maps could potentially lead to new, never before seen moments in esports.
I see.
do you think the community would actually like let that happen?
No, they would hate that. They would never let that happen. If they see Utopia Retro in a RLCS match, oh, it's over for everyone.
Neo Tokyo Classic, baby. Oh, what was it?
Yeah,
Underpass? Yeah, Neo Tokyo Underpass is what it's
Over
called.
yeah,
overpass
yeah.
or something like that, whatever.
It's a great map.
Man, and like, that would be really kind of interesting considering now one of the biggest mechanics in the game, right, came around when that map was released, the flip reset.
Mhm.
And you take the map that everybody raged about so much they had to fix it. That the first time the community threw such a fit about a map in ranked? Um,
It was that and the old Wasteland map because
okay, yeah,
Yeah,
the curved
everyone
one.
was like, yeah, because it was curved, so the walls were like, realistically they're the same size, but because the map is curved, the walls were technically really close to the ceiling now, so you had less opportunities to really go for stuff off the wall compared to a regular map.
yeah.
Yeah.
Those, and also Starbase Arc was another one that they had to change.
Goaded, goaded.
Yeah,
Missed that map.
I
true.
feel like uh the community gets in its own way sometimes. Um, because I can appreciate the perspective that the game itself is so unique, right? I mean, Rocket League is the only game I've put a tenth as many hours into. Uh, I've put in almost no time compared to Rocket League into any other games I've played at this point.
Mhm.
And I don't even have that many. I have the least amount of hours of everybody in this call by far. And I love the game. It's great. It's so unique and it's got such depth to it with without being super complicated. Um, so I appreciate when people don't want it to be changed, right? There is an art. The high level gameplay, it's like if you were just going to add an extra row to the chessboard, and you're just like, wouldn't this be fun? Well, sure, but I don't want to watch Magnus Carlsen try to play chess on a shogi board or something. Like, I get
Right.
why people are like, these things shouldn't change, because there is an art that players are out there perfecting and creating new things, and you know, you can't have everything change all the time, or else you're never really going to be able to kind of reach that depth. So I appreciate that perspective. But at the same time, there's so many things that even the community itself has called for change, new thing, updates to certain things. And a lot of times Psyonix has delivered on it, and the community still just kind of drops it. So like Knockout was, I think, pretty well received, but it
Knockout was a
never.
good game mode too, in my
It is a
opinion.
great game mode. It's a great game mode, and it's everything that the players have asked for. It's like unique. It's not just like the devs went in and added new mutators, like, oh, a cube this time. The ball's a cube, guys. What do you think about that? Which I love cube, but it's a kind of a low hanging fruit. But Knockout was a straight up completely new game mode. They added a ton to it. But I don't really hear anything about it now, and that partly is because it really wasn't permanently added to the game. But another one that everyone talked about for a really long time was voice chat. That was a huge update when that came, and
Hmm.
nobody uses it. I think I heard some people in it for the first month when the update came out using it, but now, it's just back to normal. Um, and so I guess I wonder what could possibly change to where the community is willing to actually adopt some of the things that are new and are good and are different, to help the game improve. Because I think that there's a lot of that from a business standpoint that Epic has to approve and sign off on for the Psyonix team to actually do, and they're going to take metrics on usage and stuff like that. And when the players don't actually play the games, if they say we need new extra modes, but no one's playing any of the extra modes anyways, well, why are they going to put time into that? So it's interesting. And I definitely think like new maps are there's huge potential for that. I mean, I've seen tons of YouTube content where, Lethamyr is a big one. I guess we'll just make something, and it's a ton of fun. So I
Yeah.
hope you're right. I hope you're right. I think it'd be really cool. I would love to see, because that's, I think, one thing that never really happens sometimes, I guess. But like Leth will make a crazy map, and then he'll play on it with his friends, right? And I want to see, pros go out and do that. And every now and then you can, but a lot of times that's not the case. And I would love to see some new stuff. I want to see the pros struggle with something they've not mastered.
Yeah. So the last time there was a official Psyonix supported like non-standard tournament was back in RLCS Season 3 in the mid-season mayhem. And when they did that, they had a series of different things. They had the first game, which was Drop Shot, the second game, which was Rumble. Game 3 was the top voted mutator combination, so things like Pinball and Boomer Mode. Game 4 was the top voted non-regulation arena, so things like the original Neo Tokyo, Retro Utopia, Overpass, things like that. And then Game 5 would be Rumble once again. And that was the last time we ever saw non-standard maps or even game modes that weren't just normal 3v3 in a tournament. And I missed that because I remember watching it live, and it was like some of the most fun I've had watching a Rocket League tournament.
So much crazy things happen in these extra game modes that you're not going to get that type of, I don't know, like just novelty in an RLCS match. There's plenty of great moments in RLCS, but there's a new realm of experiences that exist in those types of game modes. And I don't know, now, like with Sunless Khan being an esports organization owner in Rocket League, I mean, it seems like somebody just needs to put up enough money to actually sponsor a tournament that does something like that. I mean, Gamers 8 mixes it up a little bit, but not to that degree. And I think it would be really fun to see.
100%.
And mostly since we have the more game modes now. I mean, like what was that? What was that game mode that we were just talking about a little bit earlier? I always forget the name of that one. The kind of like the
Oh, knockout.
yes, knockout. That's what it's called. Yes. Imagine seeing the pros going at it in knockout or in like heat seekers, like game modes like that. Like that would
I want to
be
see drop shot. I want to see drop shot. I want to see knockout.
yeah, knockout would be so interesting to see.
And I want to see, I mean, I still think the idea of like just like a non-standard map, but like a really new non-standard map,
Yeah.
hire left to make something cool for RLCS, and make them all play it. It'd be funny.
Yeah, I love non-standard maps. Like I'll just troll my buddies every so often. We'll just play a private match. Like they'll be like, "Hey, you want to 1v1?" And I'll be like, "Yeah, sure." And I'll send them an invite, and we'll queue up into the game. And they see a map that's just a circle, and they're like, "I've never seen this before. What is this?" And I'm like, "This is just the greatest map of all time. Come on, hop in." And
Let's
then
go.
proceed to absolutely demolish them because I'm the greatest to ever touch this game. No, I'm joking. Um, no, it's I don't know. I love those maps. There's a whole ton of like new strategy you can do on those maps, and I wish there were more people, competing, pushing for different maps to be in the rotation.
Well, I guess it's up to us to take what we can get as far as new content goes. Speaking of, I guess the newest development is Rocket Racing. Have you even played it?
I've not played it.
I mean, I've heard, I've heard lackluster things, to be honest. I kind of appreciate what they're going for. Obviously, it's early, so hopefully it gets better. But I don't
Mhm.
know what to think about that. I like seeing the Rocket League universe expand. But again, it's like Sideswipe when that came out. Everyone kind of thought Sideswipe was pretty neat. It was Rocket League, but it was different enough that you actually did kind of get a different experience playing it than playing regular Rocket League. But I think everyone kind of just dropped it after like 2 weeks. I don't know who still plays it. So I just really think it's interesting that now they're going to go ahead and make Rocket Racing, and I'm not sure what they're expecting of it. Um, I don't know if that means we can expect to see more spin-offs come, or if that just means that they're going to put more effort into the base game. Who knows? I've got no idea. Um, I don't know. What do you think about that?
Well, when I first saw gameplay of Rocket Racing, and I mean this in the nicest way, I was not interested at all. And the reason I say that is because the whole identity of Rocket League and the whole like the only thing relating Rocket Racing to Rocket League were the cars. That was it. All of the other aspects of it were almost completely different. And me personally, I just was not a very big fan of that much change.
Yeah. It again just kind of seems like way out of left field.
Yeah.
Um, I get the idea on its own, an arcade style kind of racing game, take like Mario Kart, mix it up a little bit, put it in the Rocket League universe. Like I get that. I can get it, but you know, the Rocket League community is really dedicated and really fixated on the very specific things that make Rocket League Rocket League. And when you mess with them, they get really mad. As
Yeah.
we've seen by basically every single time a season reward is announced or a new map is released, there's always complaints about it.
Always will be though.
So
People won't.
yeah.
People there's always going to be people that dislike it for sure. Anything. As long as it's not UE5, everyone's gonna have negative opinions on it because that's what everyone's waiting for. And
Yeah.
somehow we got Rocket League UE5 not even on Rocket League. So
Yeah. We got
It was
Fortnite Rocket League spinoff.
pretty sour taste if you ask me.
Yeah, I've still got a little bit of the UE5 copium. Psyonix had to do a lot of work to add custom functionality into the Unreal Engine physics, the Unreal Physics engine to get Rocket League to play the way it does. And, porting from two versions old to a brand new thing is already going to be a lot of work. And hopefully, the the one thing that I do have confidence in is that the actual dev team, they do understand the community and they care about the game. They've just had to put up with some other initiatives maybe. But getting the game to feel right if they port it to Unreal Engine 5 is going to be really really hard, and I think they know that. And if
Mhm.
nothing else, that alone I think is enough of a challenge to put the game in a state where it will take a long time to finish moving it over. And I hope to God that they actually do reach out to skilled players when that time hopefully does come so that they can get good feedback. And it would be a really, really awesome, easy way to just build mega hype around the game. If you give in a closed beta or closed alpha access to, pro players and high skilled content creators and just say, hey, go play the game, see what it's like, and give us feedback would be insane. I think it would really
Mhm.
breathe a ton of life into the game. But yeah, that's my copium. That's the only thing I can think of that would really make it take so long, and that they wouldn't want to give any word on. Because anybody who's in software knows the minute you say even a hint of something, people will take it as a given and they will hold you to it. I mean, that's what happened in No Man's Sky, and it's a
Mhm.
great game now, but it
It's true.
never survived
Yeah.
the fallout from when it first released. But yeah, and I know I think Psyonix knows that if they say absolutely anything about it other than what they've already said, um, it will they will just dig themselves one scoop deeper into that hole. And if they go through tons of effort to try and port the game, and at the end of the day they realize they just can never actually get the game to feel right, and they decide it may be better to just never even release it for fear of what it might do, um, that you kind of I don't know if people have considered that, and they can't tell us anything until they know that decision. And that won't be a decision they can make until the product's more or less done, I think.
Mhm. Yeah, it's a pretty unfortunate place that we are in. And I think best case scenario, um, you'll get like a very similar feel, but it will be off. I think that is probably 100%. It's kind of like we saw a very very similar thing happen recently with Counter Strike,
Yes,
where
sir.
we had CS:GO like active for what, like 10 years just about,
Yeah.
with the entire Counter Strike franchise being a thing for 20, and then suddenly we go to CS2 and there's a ton of people who are just saying like it feels completely different.
Yeah, and I never
And
played enough
that's
to really feel it, and I personally liked it a lot. Um, but I've never had as much time in CS:GO as I do in Rocket League, right? If
yeah.
someone put out a game and trying to catch the ball in your car for a dribble, or, just doing a wave dash or something just felt weird. Yeah, there's no way I would leave the the original game.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see if or when that happens. Um, but yeah, I think no matter what, if we get a new engine, things will be different, and I don't think there's a way you can avoid that.
No. No, and I think different's okay, right?
Yes,
But
yeah,
like we've just been
to an
saying,
extent.
it's the Rocket League community you're talking about here. We're not generally very well receptive of different. Sometimes we are, but it's not always. So hopefully, hopefully if we do end up, this is all a big if we even get to this point in the first place, if they are working on it, hopefully
Mhm.
whatever comes out, is something that people really like. And again, you know, Psyonix knew they had a hit with Start BC and they made Rocket League, and it's a game of its own now. So I don't know how much of that talent is still there, but they definitely know if anyone in the world can do it, it's Psionic.
Right.
So we got to have faith.
Yeah, I mean, like you guys have been saying, I mean, we don't know when it's gonna happen. Copium. That's why they got rid of trading.
And
Realistically not, but
Man.
of course, of course, all we can do is hope and hope for at least majority, like mostly a similar game, a similar feeling game. Um, because yeah, like I did have a good amount of hours in CS:GO, not crazy amounts like other people who have thousands and thousands of hours, but I had a good amount of hours in CS:GO, and I definitely did feel the change when CS2 was released. I mean, now I think it's great. I love how the game feels now, but when I first transitioned over, I was like, dude, this feels so off. Like the biggest example, and everyone will agree, was the AK. The AK spray and how the AK felt so weird. But it's just also how everyone was used to the old AK. So coming into this new AK was kind of like, we don't like it. Revert.
Right. Yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
and like even in Counter-Strike, like their changes are a bit more like things hit. So like for example, there were there was one change I remember distinctly where I think the community accepted it, and this was one time, and that was, I believe, the update where they allowed you to drop grenades, and that has
Yes.
yeah.
led to a lot of strategy. But practically
Yes.
every other change has been a very rough transition.
Yeah.
Like even just changing audio. I remember recently there was like going from the CS:GO AK sound to the CS2 AK sound. People didn't like that.
Yeah, I
It's
mean, there's
tough.
always gonna be purists. So
Yeah, it's
in the
tough.
meantime, while we're waiting for hopefully more to come to Rocket League, what other games have you been playing?
PUBG,
Yeah,
PUBG,
so
PUBG.
I had a stint with PUBG, and now it's a whole lot of fun. I've also been playing a
Was
ton. Huh?
was you done with that, bro?
I didn't
You
say
done with
I'm
PUBG?
done with it. I just said that it was fun.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, the main game that I've been playing outside of Rocket League has been, and those of you who happen to tune into my streams every so often will know, it is OSU. And OSU is a very interesting game.
This was indeed a very interesting game. LeBron
Mm,
Jam. The real ones know. The real
mm.
ones know. LeBron
Real
Jam.
ones know. Real ones know what OSU is.
That's a game I can. It's just not for me. I can tell by looking at it. I appreciate the challenge, and I bet it's a lot of fun. I love lots of rhythm games, but that's too much of a learning curve for me.
Yeah, OSU is one of the games of all time, I would say.
One of the
Yeah.
games.
How
Yeah.
do you get into a game like Osu?
So, I mean, it goes way back, like even before I got into Rocket League. Like I used to play Geometry Dash a ton.
Ooh,
Mhm.
Um,
amazing game.
and one of my favorite content creators from Geometry Dash, uh, just one day stopped posting Geometry Dash and started posting Osu, and I was like, well, this game looks pretty fun. It's got music in it, and Geometry Dash had music in it, so I'm gonna give it a try. So in November of 2015, that's when I first started playing Osu, and from the get go, um, like I've always been a music person. You know, growing up, I was always joining the band in school, and I'm still in the band now in college, the symphonic band here at my college. And um, music has always had a close. Um, it's always been close to me growing up, and so having a game that is music, like it just feels right.
Yeah, for me that's Guitar Hero. I've always loved playing Guitar Hero to the point where I never had it myself as a kid until later growing up.
Mhm.
I would go to my friend's house and I'd just be like, "Oh, dude, let's play guitar." He was like, "Bro, more? Like, are you kidding me?" I was like, "Yes." get the PS2 out. We're gonna play Guitar Hero 3 right now. Um, yeah, it's so much fun. So I get that. I get it completely. I feel like it's harder to get into OSU though because you need kind of specific hardware, right? Or did you just play with a mouse at first?
No, at first, I played with my mouse. I even clicked on my mouse at first, and then, as you learn the game, you start to know, or you start to realize, like, you wanna split up your hands as much as you can and split up the
Mm,
inputs. So maybe one arm or one hand is for aiming, and the other one is for tapping to the music, rather than having one arm do both. It makes it, like, complicated.
I used
yeah.
to
Um,
play like that. I used to play OSU like that. I used to have I used to use the clicks and mouse movement. So
yeah.
that was bad. And then I switched it up to, the keys and everything. So that helped that helped a lot for that game.
Yeah, so Osu at its heart is just an aim-based rhythm game where you click the circles. And it doesn't really matter how you aim to the circles as long as you're doing it and clicking them. Now,
Cool.
obviously, a lot of people in Osu will prefer certain input devices than others, me included. But anyone can really play from using any type of hardware.
It always
That's
looked
what I
like
like
it
about
was
it.
best suited to use a Wacom tablet or something, a drawing tablet, and use the pen to move. It always just seemed like it fit perfectly to me.
Yeah, tons of people do that, including me. I don't have a Wacom, but I do have a drawing tablet, and I have a really cheap one too. Um, but at the end of the day, like if you were to actually find which one is better, it depends on what your goal is. If your goal is just to play Osu and get good at Osu, I would say probably the drawing tablet is best suited. And I say that simply because inputs on a drawing tablet are absolute, which means any given spot on the tablet will
Hmm.
be a direct match on any given spot on your screen. Whereas if you were to use a mouse, all of that is relative. The mouse, uh, like sensor, is only tracking the movement. It's not tracking where it is, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you can put it on the edge
Um,
of your mouse pad or in the middle of your mouse pad, and the computer doesn't know the difference.
exactly, and that's why you see a ton of people who are really good at OSU, use that drawing tablet. They build up that muscle memory on the positions, and they can break certain records and be unbelievable. It's insane.
I believe it.
So I
Well,
guess on the topic of other games and not many people. I mean, I guess some of the real OGs of the server know, but back then during the whole Among Us craze, we have this clip that's actually popped off that's actually sort of kind of up there in my clips on my Twitch channel, um, which for the OGs who were there for those stream, I know a couple of you in the Discord server were there, and I know a lot of us on the team used to play Among Us together a lot. Um, Sojh and I were part of an amazing clip back then.
Uh, One of the
Um,
greatest clips, in fact.
one of the greatest clips.
one of the
Um,
clips of all
one of
time.
the
Oh
clips.
yeah,
So
oh
what?
yeah.
So to kind of just summarize it all, um, I think we had just gotten out of voting, I was eating a sandwich, I think, and Sojh was the imposter, and we had this other random who I think was friends with Mobags, and he was there, and we were all just vibing out in proximity chat, and I remember the other guy had said if any of you guys are the imposter, just come kill me now, and Sojh was like okay, and he just chops his head off right in front of me, and I'm like oh, I'm like oh, and then I call the body, and Soj and I are just dying of laughter for like we nothing happens in that voting sequence, by the way, nothing at all. It's just Soj and I dying of laughter for like 5 to 10 minutes. It
Laughing like maniacs.
it
No
was
one knows what's happening. It's awesome.
everyone was trying to get info out of us, and we were just dying of laughter. It was one of the most funnest moments I probably had in that game throughout all its, I guess, I
No,
mean,
100%.
lifespan. So
Gotta be one of the best, like, Among Us things that's ever, like, I've ever been a part of.
That was so good. But yeah, I mean, I guess talking about another game, you brought up Geometry Dash, which also got a pretty big update. For any of you that play Geometry Dash, the big old update that we've all been waiting for years and years and years. We never thought it would come. 2.2 officially dropped a couple months ago. No, I don't remember when it dropped. I think in October, November. I don't remember when
It
it dropped.
dropped. It dropped.
Or did it drop
I
I
believe
don't know when it. I just
December
December.
December
Okay, it was
18th,
December.
I believe.
I thought it was in November. Okay, so December. It dropped in December, but the update as a GD player, everyone's been waiting for. It was finally released. A massive update for the game. Changes how levels can be made. There's a whole lot of new content that was added. Um, so have you played GD, Sojh? Have you gone back to check out what the new update, what has been added and everything?
I have, and there's a lot of new things, and I think the game is in a better spot now than it's ever been in. Though at the very start of the update, it does take a few days to, because Geometry Dash is a community made game practically. Like all of the levels are made by the people playing the game. So at the start, you get a whole ton of levels that are just people messing around, and as people mess around with the editor a whole lot more, you discover new things, and then brand new like concepts are discovered, and you get these like game changing levels posted that everyone flocks to, and it's very interesting to have a fresh look on a game that has been super close to me for so long. Like Geometry Dash was the game that got me into like gaming communities. Like before Geometry Dash, I was just kind of like playing games and that was it. But when I got Geometry Dash, I looked up YouTube videos. I was active in community like chats. I joined all these groups. I followed all these content creators, and that was the catalyst for me. That's what got me active online, and I couldn't ask for it another way.
It's a great game.
Thank
It's
Geometry Dash
awesome.
for Sojh.
Mhm.
But I think we're hitting that mark. Before I guess we finish off this podcast, is there anything you want to really say to all the listeners out there, Mr. Sojh?
Anything I want to say? I guess I'll shout out my team that I've been working on. I made this team for
Oh,
Rocket League,
okay,
and we currently have 3 rosters that are active,
okay.
and
No invite. Weird.
we are competing in a ton of leagues. So if you like watching competition and you like having a team to root for, I would love to have you root for my team. So you can find us on Twitter. We are at Affinity Reborn, AFFINITY Reborn. That's where we have all of our updates for rosters. We just announced a new one recently, and we're super excited to get back on that competitive grind and see where that takes us.
Awesome. I mean that's a massive announcement. I think that's the first time we've actually had an announcement when I ask people what they if they have anything to say. So that's awesome. And I'll definitely make sure to link that so all the listeners um on top of the Wayton Discord, which will have drafts coming back soon. The discount or the superstar server as well, which will be down there. But we'll also have Sojh's team and everything down there in the description. So anything you want to check out, it'll be down there. And yeah, once again, I'd like to thank you, Sojh. I know this is it's been a couple months since we last recorded our last one. I mean, we've had um New Year's, Christmas, a lot of big events, but I just wanted to say thank you for coming on and taking the time out of your late night. It's you're in the Eastern time, so it's pretty late for you. Um,
Yep.
but again,
1:33 in the morning. Let's go.
but again, thank you so much for taking the time to hop on here. I know, like I said, you were the most requested person to hop on to the cast. So hopefully a lot of people enjoy this episode the most. And yeah, again, thank you so much for hopping on. Really appreciate it. Um, anything from you, McFizz, before we end this off?
No, I'm glad that we had the chance to do this. It's been fun. Let's go to Worlds
Mhm.
again in LA, and we'll go find Reb,
Heck
wherever
yeah.
it's gonna be, something like that.
Dig me out of the
And
trenches, boys.
yeah,
We'll find you.
and we should play some Rocket League sometime.
Oh yeah.
Alrighty. Well, I think that's it. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Catch you on the next one.